Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tracy Takes On. It is Monday, May 9th, 2022. And before I get started, you can see again, I am solo, so I'm still working on some guests to get on the show. Remember to like this video, please. I'm trying to get my likes up. Of course, if you're watching, it doesn't look like anybody's watching right now, but if you're watching or happen to be watching, you can always comment, subscribe to my page, and let's get all of these lovely announcements out of the way here first. Remember that September 3rd, Tracy Media is sponsoring a virtual scavenger hunt. That's Saturday, September 3rd at 6 o'clock. The cost is just $15. All money goes towards me getting better equipment. There is the link to register. Of course, you can always visit me at my website where you'll find the same link. TracyMediaLLC.com is my website. And of course, I'm still looking to go to DC, and you can send money by Cash App, and I'm looking at my phone again because I'm thinking somebody may be trying to come in, probably. Nope. Okay, so that is the link, $ Tracy Media 74. So this is going to probably be a very short show. I'm not planning on staying past 8. I'm just not feeling the best. I've had, I don't know if they call it sour stomach or whatever it is I'm having, but I feel okay, but this is just like, ugh, I cannot deal with this. So this is going to be a very short show. So it'll just be me rambling. So if you don't, if it doesn't make sense, it's because, again, I'm just not feeling 100%. I'm about 90, 89, 90, somewhere in that range. So, of course, I want to talk about, and I think this will be the only thing that I talk about, is the impending reversal of Roe v. Wade, or I think it's Roe v. Cassidy. One of those two, where basically the Supreme Court is geared up to eliminate a woman's right to reproductive health and her access to abortions. One report says that it could be up to 26 states that does it, but I just heard something today that's really got me concerned. So I saw an interview with Mitch McConnell. And again, when you're not feeling well, like Mitch McConnell is like the last person you want to see when you are not feeling well. Just not. But now he's hinting that when Republicans get control back in 2024, which they look like they're going to do, that they're going to be intent on proceeding with a national ban on abortions. And who couldn't have seen this coming? Oh, I think I said it last week that this was going to be coming. I'm not shocked, but I'm surprised it's not getting as much media play, because that should scare all of us. Because if they come for let's kind of cut them down a list. They pretty much already are trying to strip voter rights from Black and brown people. If they do this, where does it stop? Do they, say you have to be married to the person you live with? Like, how far is this going to go? And people just sit by and not do anything. And when I say people, I of course mean my favorite target, the DNC. And I say that because we as citizens, we only have two options. We can go in the streets and protest, and that's our right to protest. Or we can go to the polls and vote for those candidates who are for women having access to abortions and women's health care. Those are the only two options we have. We can't overturn the law. We can't write opinions. We can't We're not those now 10 or well, there's 9 now. Wait a minute. How many are there? There's 9 now. I think there's 10 now. So you got KBJ, she just got in. I don't know if she'll be deciding on this case or not. Then you have, of course, Kavanaugh, Gorgeous, or Gorgeous, whatever his name is. Kavanaugh, Gorgeous, Handmaiden Girl, Clarence Thomas, Alito, and then they would need one more, which I think Roberts is hinting that he's going to go along with this. So if you get those 6 to basically say in the 25 states or 26 states that this is going to be illegal, and then the Republicans win control in 2024 and they'll outlaw it nationally, that's going to be I don't even know what to say. I mean, this is just I'm looking, and maybe the one person who's joined us can say what they think. What is it that we can do? It seems like, I've received my fundraising letters, and I'm like, is this is this your response? And then, you hear legislators talking about, oh, let's codify. That works when you have a super majority. That worked, let's see, back in 2008, 2010, where you had the super majority and you could have did that, but you didn't. Now you need, the House passed a bill to codify. Again, giving them credit. They passed the bill. I can't say, oh, they're terrible, but let's look at this from the Senate side. So one train of thought is to eliminate the filibuster. And all you would need is 51 votes. So let's just say that the filibuster was suspended for this particular incident. Where are you getting the 51 votes? Let's look. So I'm just going to assume straight out the gate that maybe you could get Susan Collins and maybe you could get Murkowski. And that's a maybe. But let's just say 48 Republicans all vote against it. But then you have McConnell. You have Manchin. You have Manchin who's pro-life. So that takes it up to 49. And then you have Tim Kaine who's also pro-life. That takes it up to 50. So even if the Democrats were able to pick up 2 votes, they're going to lose 2 votes because you have 2 Democrats that are anti-choice. Now, maybe you could convince Kaine, even though he has said, I don't know, time and time again that he's anti-choice. I think he tried to do some kind of word salad where he said that he would guarantee women would have rights, but he's against it personally. He did one of those answers that really bothers him. So if you got him, I'm almost certain you could get Kirsten Sinema. I know you're not getting Manchin. I already know it. If you got Murkowski and Collins plus 48 others plus Tim Kaine, if you convince them, that's 51. The problem with that theory is that the filibuster has to be suspended. Chuck Schumer isn't even bringing that to the table. So I'm wondering why is that they're telling, the public, oh, we're going to codify this bill, but yet you're holding on to one of the options that you need to pass this. And the second option you have is, you have a couple options. The other option is you could just go through the traditional, which isn't going to happen. That means all 50 Democrats have to vote for it. Plus, you had to find 10 Republicans who would vote. There is no way. as much as I dislike the Republican Party, and goodness knows I dislike the Republican Party, they keep their votes together. They're not going to break ranks in that way, even if Markowski and Collins voted that way. First of all, I don't see them voting for it. Even though they both say they're pro-choice, I just think that's in word and not in deed. Um, Another option that you have, um, again, with that option, you have to find all 50 Democrats would have to vote for it. Wait a minute, comment. This, if they suspend for this, I agree. I didn't even bring up that portion because they could have suspended it for voters' rights, but I'm just saying, I'm just kind of laying out the options. So with the 60 votes, um, I don't see. I kind of do and I kind of don't. I think she would because I think she has said she's pro-choice. So I'm just gonna assume that she would vote for it. But like I said, in my second scenario, if you would have to get 60 votes. I kids cannot see 10 Republicans plus Manchin, who's already pro-life, plus Tim Kaine, who's already pro-life. That option definitely not going to work. An option that could work, but President Biden has said he won't do it. And to me, it's the easiest way is to pack the courts. That's the easiest way that you could get something like this overturned. You can easily pack the courts, you get your voters' rights, you codify Roe v. You get the legislation, you codify it through the states, you get these state decisions that were poor judgment overturned. Don't care about what the next administration is going to do because desperate times call for desperate measures. I think that's the easiest way to do it is if Joe Biden would just not necessarily though, because if Manchin voted against it, I think you could still get him. This is going to be tricky. I still think you could get him to do it if you sold it the right way. And maybe I'm just being too hopeful. Pack the Supreme Court. Pack the Supreme Court. Just pack them. You have 4 liberal justices. Jackson. I cannot pronounce her name. Oh goodness, I can't pronounce her name. But you have 4 liberal justices. All you need is like what? 3 more? You need 3 more. Or somehow you have to convince Justice Roberts not to vote to take the right way, which I definitely think he's going to. If he does it and those lower courts are overruled, I will be shocked. I'll be happy, but I'll be really shocked because Thomas is voting to strike down Roe v. Wade. Kavanaugh, Handmaid's Tale's lady, Alito because he wrote the opinion. Kavanaugh, and then if somehow you don't get Justice Roberts to do it, like I said, I would be very shocked, but I think he's definitely crossing over. Another option that we have, and this is where this one would take a whole lot of work. We have to elect Democrats that will fight for, and since I'm only talking about women's abortion access and not voters' rights, but both could be in here, we have to vote for Senate Democrats. And that oh boy, I don't even like saying that out loud because it's making my sour stomach even worse. Because if you don't, and you're sitting here listening to Mitch McConnell talk about, oh, we're gonna just ban it straight out. Um, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at who's up for. There's a good chance that Raphael Warnock is going to lose his seat to Herschel Walker. Listen, Georgia. I know there's not a lot of people listening to this, but Georgia, you cannot be serious in trying to put that man in. You cannot be serious. You cannot be serious. You cannot be serious. Um, I know Rand Paul is up, and as much as I love Charles Booker, and I really do, he doesn't stand a chance against Rand Paul. Um, I'm trying to think of who else is up. So there's a few senators that are up. If they could capture those seats, and then you get enough senators to kind of shift Manchin and Sinema up. Because if you had 60, well, let me put it this way: if you had 60 Democrats and 40 Republicans, and somehow you got the filibuster suspended, let's just subtract 2. You'd have 58 to 42. 58 to 50. Oh, wait a minute, my math. Yeah, that's right, 58 to 42. No, math is not my thing, everybody. It's just not. So again, now I got 2 people watching. Just kind of tell me what do you think we can do, because I'm running out of options, and I think this is going to be it's going to be essential that people just don't let their anger kind of get the best of them. Because let's see, I heard about this Thursday, or was it Wednesday? Whichever day it was I heard about it, I was just like, okay, I'm just ready to protest. And then I thought, well, okay, I'm going to protest, but I live in Indiana. Indiana has 80% Republican. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I can figure. I'm like, okay. Um, that yeah, 1,000% agree on that. Um, but I'm just wondering. Like, I live in Indiana. Indiana has 92 counties, and all but 5 are controlled by Republicans. What's the point in me going? I know me going. I mean, I know the purpose of me going is to show I support women's reproductive choices, but that's not going to change anything. We have to get people elected who are going to stand up for women's rights and voters' rights. And in a state that's as red as you can get, I don't know how to get to that end. I don't, because if you look at the country, you have your large cities: Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, etc., etc. But the governorships are often controlled by Republicans. Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Arkansas, North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia. I could just keep naming states: Wyoming, Utah. I can only name a few states where with a Democratic House and Senate are in control, and that's basically New York, California, maybe Oregon, maybe Washington. Those are 4. So if you subtract 4, oh, and Wisconsin. I forgot Wisconsin has a Democratic governor, but he has a Republican House and Senate. So really, they have enough. If he vetoes every anti-abortion bill, they technically have enough to override it. So there's got to be tactics that we can implore besides protesting and going to the polls that we can do. And I'm just like, okay, besides pray, I literally ran out of ideas. I'm just like, I don't know. I would love to hear like some ideas besides pray. That without question, because it's about to get rough. It's about to get rough, and some party, which I'm not gonna name, needs to wake up and do something, and stop sending out these stupid emails asking for money. Like, okay, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Um, let's see. It'll be a team. Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's it, because you're going to have a large segment if the Republicans get their way of black and brown people that can't even vote. I wouldn't be surprised if some state pulls out poll taxes to make people vote. I mean, to make you have to take a poll tax to vote or pay something to vote. Um, and I think that's a lot of reason. And think about it. Why are they trying to stop people of color from voting? It's not like a whole bunch of people turn out to vote anyway. The highest percentage I ever heard of going to the polls was maybe 50%. You still got 50% that stays home. So you're just trying to get. I think I know why they do it is if you keep the turnout low, you stand a better chance as a conservative Republican um, maintaining or getting to office. Um, but again, I still like to hear some ideas because this is one of those things that which I literally didn't think something like this. I knew the Republicans wanted to ban abortions, got it done, but I just never thought that the opposing party would just sit by and just be like, okay, we can try this, and there'd be no ideas. Although packing the courts, that's the way to do it. But you got to have somebody that wants to do it. So maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to um, march and tell Joe Biden, hey, it's time for you to pack these courts and let's secure voting rights. Let's secure women's reproductive rights. Let's do all of that. Maybe that's a way. I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing here. And like I said, it's been a long, 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 long week. Yeah, exactly. The more people vote a Democrat wins, the less people vote a Republican wins. So if you're Republican, it makes sense. Oh well, let's keep the voter turnout low. It makes sense. Is it right? No. But it makes sense to keep that voter turnout low. So either we have to convince every black and brown person of 18 years or older to get to the polls and vote D for Senate or something. We have to do something even at this moment, because if we just sit by and just be like, okay, we're not gonna do anything, the courts are gonna take away all of our rights. I won't have the right to vote. I won't have the right to make reproductive choices. I won't. Corporations will get to come in and do whatever it is they want to. So we have to do. There's a lot of things we have to do as the electorate to hold our elected officials accountable, because it's just horrible. So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. And in the last 6 minutes, and again, I didn't think I was going to talk that long. Oh, we have another person joining us. Who is that other person? You can always say hello. Um, I wanted to talk about the Nina Turner race. And again, last Tuesday, I was not the person that you wanted to talk to. When I got the news that Nina had been beaten by 33 points, it just literally crushed everything within me. I mean, I literally almost cried. I felt like I was going to cry because those of us who are for Nina and worked her campaign and we texted people, and even though we didn't live there, we put a lot in this, and there are, of course, several reasons why she lost. I still don't get why the Joe Biden is a half a plate of poop came back, because I would ask the people of Cleveland, like, you're saying she shouldn't criticize them, but exactly, you're a Democratic controlled city slash area. What has exactly improved in your area? You're one of the poorest, you're a large, poor city. What exactly has improved? But okay, that could be a reason she lost. Another reason she could be, actually, the reason she actually lost is because she didn't have enough money. Money in politics is so egregious. There were large PACs that just put out outrageous claims, just straight out lies. And when you don't have the money to counter that, it's hard. It's really, really hard. And uh, I don't know how to overcome big money except for Overturn Citizens United. But the chances of that happening are the chances of me turning a completely different color. It's probably not going to happen. But wait a minute, we got another comment. See, I disagree. I'm going to disagree with that slightly. I think they can do something, i.e., pack the courts, but they have to want to do it. They have to want to do it, because what the game they're playing now, I'm like, okay, do y'all really want to do something? Or you just going to sit there and just be like, at least fight. Okay, you may lose, but okay, show up to fight. But back to the Nina thing. So I said the money was a big reason that she lost. But another reason, and this one, it hurts because I got 3 minutes, so I'm probably going to go over. Another reason she lost is because she was left essentially by herself. And when I say that, I'm talking about she didn't get the only people nationally that endorsed Nina were Keith Ellison and Bernie Sanders. Those were the only two. AOC did, but it was the day before, so girl, keep that to yourself. Cori Bush didn't endorse. Rashida Tlaib didn't endorse. Ilhan Omar didn't endorse. Ayanna Pressley didn't endorse. Where were they? Where were they when the PAC vote, when the Progressive Caucus voted to support Shontel Brown, even though she joined that PAC in January, a day before Nina announced her run? Where were they at? And some people are like, oh, well, Nina wanted to the party to help her get in so she could set a fire to the living room. If you could say that a little clearer, I think I know where you're going, but I'm not 1,000% sure, and I don't want to misquote anybody. But they just left her. How, if I could ask the quote unquote squad any question, like, how do you expect to get more progressives running when a progressive runs and you don't support that progressive? Literally, you can't increase your ranks if you're not supporting candidates that are running that share your values. You're essentially saying, one, either you're so comfortable with power that it doesn't matter, I got mine, so that's pretty much it. Hello, Susan, how are you today? Oh, two. Okay. Let me go back to that comment. Democrat Nina. Okay, so Nina wanted to the party to get in so she could set a fire to the living room. Sometimes, well, Metaphorically speaking, sometimes that needs to happen. But in terms of the squad leaving her, there were some rumors that she was yeah, I'm so glad she said that. You know what, Susan? That is so true. Oh my gosh. And if you're gonna say you're progressive or socialist or left leaning, when you see someone, like I said again, that shares your values or what you proposed or have said are your values, you should be like, oh, I'm going to support this person. I'm going to campaign, send it to my email list or what have you. But if they were forced to do this by the Congressional Black Caucus, and don't start me on them because I really don't feel well today, and so they're going to make me throw up. So if they were not, no, if they were propositioned by the Black Caucus not to support Nina, and they said, "Oh, if you do, uh, we won't support you with money or anything else." Let me tell you what I would have done. I would have called Fox News. This is exactly what I would have did. I would have called Fox News and said, "I'd like to come on your program and talk about how I was threatened by," and name the person. Name the person. Don't be vague about it. Name them. If it was Jim Clyburn, name them. If it was, who else is in the Black Caucus? I can't think of anybody in the Black Caucus. Oh, yes, I can. My legislator, Andre Carson. If it was him, name them. Don't get on there and just be vague. Be like, Jim Clyburn told me if I support Nina, they're not going to give me money for my campaign. And that's, first of all, it's a threat, just straight out, if it happened. And second, what happened to the democratic process of, letting the people in that area decide? Oh, yeah, I went straight to Fox News. Straight to Fox News. Because that makes me, one, look better in my voters' eyes that I'm actually fighting to get more progressives in office. And then that tells them, you found the right one. You found the right one. You I wish I had been. I wish I was in elected office just to do that, because I double dog dare you to come up my face talking about, oh, if you do with her, we're not gonna give you money. Take your money and put it, where. You can take that little money and do whatever you want and buy yourself an election. Here comes my last point, and I'll expand on this. No, I won't, because I'll actually have a guest next week. The only criticism. So, former sir. No, if you're gonna threaten me, see, so I'm gonna put your comment back up. If you're gonna come and threaten me and say that I can't support somebody that you don't want as a caucus, I should have every right to go on television and say such and such person threatened me. Because that's essentially what they did. It's a threat. How do you have to have, that's where you have to get courage from. You ran to go against people who do that kind of stuff. So why, when people do that kind of stuff, you ascertain to it and say, it's okay? No, you make a threat. You found the right one. If I was in office, you do something, and Nina, the people who obviously supported Nina didn't do it. But if it was me, that's what I'm doing. Yes, Susan. And if you saw her concession speech, which I think was one of the greatest concession speeches I have ever heard, oh, I was crying by the time she finished. I was like screaming, cheering. I couldn't believe it. It was just great. I would fully support a Nina Turner campaign, fully 100%, no doubt about it. But there's only one thing, and this is where it's gonna sound like I'm criticizing Nina, and I'm really, yeah, I am. When she did those commercials saying, "Oh, I have big money interest coming at me, you got to name. Okay, so this I'm gonna answer these questions, then I'm gonna get back to my next point. So it can, because with a show other progressives running for office is, hey, this progressive, me, is gonna have your back. You and I are the same in terms of what it is we want. So I'm sending a message out to all of those progressives out there that may be watching, that I'm for you. I'm going to have your back. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what Jim Clyburn says. It doesn't matter what the Congressional Black Caucus says. I'm going to have your back. That's to me what it says. Now, I may um um I may be totally wrong, but I'm just saying, if it were me and somebody approached me about not supporting a candidate, oh, I'm gonna support them 10,000 times more than I would. You don't tell me. Oh no, you don't tell me anything. I sort of do, Susan, and I sort of don't, because an independent. Let's face it, independents haven't. We haven't had an independent president since one of the Adamses, son Adams. After Adams, it was Democratic, Republican Party, then they split, blah, blah, blah. The odds, I don't know how to get around the odds. To run for president, you have to raise at least, and I'm talking about least, you have to raise at least $200 to $300 million. It shouldn't cost that much, no, but that's what you legitimately need to be in there. You know they're not going to let her in the debates. You know she's not going to be allowed in the debates. They'll find a reason. Even though the Republican Party has said we're never doing a presidential debate ever again, but she won't be a part of it. What she could do, and I don't know if it's the better idea, but I want to believe she has a chance, but in my heart of hearts, it would be extremely hard. Extremely hard. Independents just, I'm trying to think of the last independent that had, oh, it was Ross Perot. It was Ross Perot, George H.W. Bush, and Bill Clinton. They all three ran. Ross Perot, even though he got 20% of the vote, he didn't win not one electoral vote. Not a one. He won literally none. So I don't see progressives, I don't see a third party candidacy working. Now, would I support it if she launched it? Yes. I'll contribute the maximum amount that I can contribute. Yes. I would absolutely do it. No hesitation. Nothing about it. I wouldn't even flinch. I would just do it. So I hope she runs, but oh boy, that's a hard road. It's a hard road. And of course, you're going to hear that split the vote argument. Oh, please, anybody that split the vote, please don't start that argument today with me, because I'm not going to have it. If you're so worried about splitting the vote, maybe you should do things so that doesn't happen. But hey, that's just me talking. Um, but I'll get back to my last point about Nina's campaign, and I think this is going to be the last point. So, final point is, when she was criticizing big money interests who were in the race and contributed millions, her campaign, and it's probably because she didn't have a lot of money, did a poor job of connecting that to Chantel Brown's corruption. We know that Chantel Brown is corrupt. She's still the chair of the Cleveland Democratic Party, still hasn't resigned till this day. She funneled hundreds of thousands of dollars to her boyfriend's construction company. She's facing ethics charges, which I bet somehow they disappear. I bet you she won't get there. My problem with the campaign was they never named the interest. Again, when you do these vague, well, I have big money interest. Oh no, not me. I wouldn't. Um, I think it's better to build progressive power structures from the ground up through. Yes, but Susan, it still takes money. Disagree. I think she'd be a great candidate. I think she would be a fantastic firebrand. Get into local office and show people what progressive policies can do for them where they live and work. That's true. I hope you're not saying that to me because, again, I'm not running. I'm just not. But stop with these vague criticism. Bernie does it. AOC does it. It's like every time I hear it, I'm like, could you, if you're going to criticize someone for taking big money, name the person that's taking the big money, name where they're getting the big money from, and just wash, rinse, repeat. Stop with this vague, oh, there's big money interest in my campaign. No. Chantel Brown is taking money from the president of PayPal who's spreading lies about me. Boom. That's it. You don't have to go into the big details about what the lies are. Well, maybe you can, but you don't have enough money to do that. But you wash, rinse, repeat. I don't know why some of these. Okay. Firebrand, yes. National appeal in the Electoral College. Nope. I agree. It would absolutely be a waste of my talents. I got more stuff to do than to worry about some knucklehead politician that won't do right. Nope. But again, I'm so tired of these vague, never naming anything. If they want to go low, you go lower. And I know that, oh, when they aim low, we go high. No, kick that stuff to the curb. This is for the win. When you want to go for the win, when you want to go for the jugular, you go for it. You don't hesitate like, well, I'm going to be nice. Nice is if they're nice. If they want to turn ugly, get uglier. Now, you don't have to make it physical and you go on the attack with facts. I'm all for that. You attack with the facts. But this whole, I'm just going to be vague and I'm going to just say big money. No. You got to name the person, the politician taking the big money, name who's giving it to them, and connect that to how corrupt they are. I'm not a political consultant, but it just makes sense to me. Stop with the vagueness. And then what she should have did, and I said that was my last one, she should have asked, what has this person done for you? Again, Cleveland is a very large city, and they're one of the poorest cities in America. What has changed since then? Vote for somebody that's going to change, and I'll do this, and this. I'm not on the campaign. Nobody asked me to be on the campaign. There are fascists to be, we can't use most of the dish rags in the national politics. Okay, I agree. If you could explain a little bit more about what you mean, I would appreciate it. Because I'm a tad lost there, but I'm pretty sure I think I know what you mean. I'm just like, oh, I wanted to talk about so much today about if I ever ran. I'm not running. Telling you, I'm not running. But what I would have done, I go for the jugular. I don't got time to be sitting here and playing little patty cakes. And I know you're corrupt. And I know you're giving money to your boyfriend. And I know, oh, no. You go for the jugular. Again, you attack with the facts. That's it. You don't have to make up anything, especially in Chantel Brown's case. I mean, it's literally right there. Uh, but that's pretty much it. It sounds like it's thundering outside. But I want to thank everybody that joined me, because this went 15 minutes longer than I thought. I wasn't going to stay on here long because, again, I had the worst case of sour stomach ever. I'm like, I'm going to try to see how I can treat this. I'm like I said, I'm about 88 to 90% there, so I'm okay, but this feeling is just like, bleh. Remember, though, to like my page. Please like this video. Share this video. Remember that September 3rd, we are having our scavenger hunt. I will only allow 50 people to get in. So get your tickets at my website, TracyMediaLLC.com is my website. And still remember that I'm still trying to go to the Medicare for All March. It's July 30th in Washington, D.C. There is my Cash App. I will see everyone later. Have a great rest of the week. I'll see you all on Thursday. Talk to you all later.